allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Mrs. Garza.
Yes. Chairman Williams.
Here.
Vice Chair Steinbach.
Here.
Mr. Demaria.
Here.
Mrs. Williams.
Here.
Mrs. Stevens.
Here.
Mr. Hollingsworth.
Here.
Mrs. Brooks.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Garza. Appreciate that. Dr. Newman, any additions and corrections to the agenda?
We will not need a closed session today.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Next up on the agenda, board committee comments. Looking to my left, Mrs. Williams, any committee reports? Thank you. Ms. Seabird.
Yes. The academic committee met yesterday. We reviewed grading regulations and policies. We expect an update before the full board in August. Thank you.
Thank you. And I loved the meeting yesterday. Good job. And then I look to my right, Mr. Demaria, any committee reports?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mrs. Stevens.
We had a policy committee meeting on the 29th, and we'll discuss some of those proposed policies and amendments and changes to policies during the discussion time.
Thank you, Mrs. Stevens. Appreciate that. The next item on the agenda is citizen comments. I believe we have one citizen signed up, and before they come up, I'm going to read our standard words. If you'd like to speak during the citizen comments portion of tonight's agenda, please sign in at the table located in the foyer or at the table in front of the City Council chambers. At this time, we welcome citizens who wish to speak about services, policies, and affairs of the City of Manassas Public Schools. Because we have an agenda we need to complete, we ask that comments be limited to 3 minutes. We appreciate the time you have taken to be here. We treat citizen comments as a public hearing, and we do not engage in conversation with speakers. The lack of an immediate response to your comments should not be taken as a lack of interest or concern. Please be respectful when presenting your comments. Thank you. And with that, we have Mr. Ryan Steinbach, I believe. Sir. Please, I stated your name already, but just state your affiliation with the Manassas City Public Schools and go forward.
Thank you, sir, and thank you to the school board. It's the first time I've done anything like this. Hello, my name is Ryan Steinbach. My son is a junior in the Governor STEM Academy and the Project Lead the Way academic programs at the Osborne High School. I have a daughter who is an 8th grade student ambassador at Metz, and another daughter who is 4th grade in Hayden, hopefully getting tested for the GTE. So I'm a very big fan of the Osborne school system, of the MCPSA school system. And I'm actually a very big fan of Dr. Newman. He actually just approached me and dealt with what it is I wanted to address as far as the Project Lead the Way, the curriculum, hires that were brought in, and a way of keeping that standard moving forward. And I'm very confident I'd be able to work with him and hopefully raise the bar and get another build season in for robotics. So that leaves only one thing that I would like to address to the board. In the announcement for this meeting, there was a review of past curriculums, and one of them was anti-racism, which is wonderful. Racism and discrimination should be countered whenever encountered, absolutely. However, it suggested, and I'm hoping this was a miswording, that a student must learn from a teacher of the same ethnicity, or outcomes should be expected to be ill. And I think that's wrong-headed and, in fact, racist to suggest that the intellectual capacity of either a student or a teacher is inhibited by the melanin content of a person's skin. We all live in an integrated world. You're an integrated board. An integrated workplace, and I served in an integrated military unit everywhere I went. I found no intellectual difference in the conversations I had between anyone of any color that I have served with in both my professional career, my military career, or in my education. And I was born and raised in Chicago. So the idea that in order to bridge an equity gap in outcomes, we need an equity in teachers, and one-on-one is lazy statistics. Freshman college will teach you that correlation is not necessarily causation, and just because murder rates and ice cream sales both spike in the summer does not mean they're causing one another. So I would ask the school board that when you put these things out, it's dangerous to suggest that a child can't learn from someone. You're actually degrading the child just because that person doesn't look like them. They can, and we have plenty of evidence of this. So I would just ask, please look for actual causations when we're looking for roots of problems. I want to see equity. I do. My wife is Latina from Ecuador. I want our kids to not think of themselves as any particular thing, but as a human like everyone else.
Pardon me, just 3 minutes.
I
I'll
apologize.
let you wrap up, though.
Thank you.
You can wrap up with you.
I just ask that the school board would do the same and see each kid as capable, no matter who's teaching them, and just look at the quality of the teacher.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Are there any other citizen comments? Manassas City citizens comment? Seeing none, we'll move on with our agenda. Thank you for your comment. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I move that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Vice Chair Seberg, second by Mrs. Williams, that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, 7-0. The consent agenda passes. Moving on to the discussion agenda, the first item is policies, and I believe that would be Mrs. Lisa Stevens.
Yes. On the 29th last week, we did have a policy committee meeting where we looked at proposed policies that came from the VSBA. The majority of changes or updates to the policies were in citations and changes related to amendments passed or legislation passed in the VSBA or in the General Assembly in Richmond. What the changes mostly were wordsmithing, going from passive to active language and changing pronoun usage from he, her to they, the student, superintendent, etc. I did want to highlight 3 policies we have that are modifications to the VSBA policies. The first one is for FMLA. Previously, we would require family members who were both employed by MCPS, if they wanted to take FMLA, they would have to split the 12 weeks between the two of them. We've changed that so family members who do require FMLA can each take 12 weeks. The second was in food services. We've modified ours from the VSBA in that we do not file lawsuits against students or families for unpaid meal debts. We do not lunch shame in any way, shape, or form because it's not the student's responsibility to ensure that lunches are paid for. Obviously, next year, school lunches and breakfast will be free again, and we are looking to bring back dinner options. And the final modification in our policies versus the VSBA were background checks. The VSBA requires 1 background check prior to employment. We require 1 every 3 years. So those are really the 3 biggest changes. The other changes were mostly wordsmithing, going from passive to active language, and change or removal of pronouns in policies. So that was really all that it was.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the work you all are doing. Are there any comments or questions about any of the policies that were just discussed? Okay, and then you anticipate that these policies will be on the action agenda?
Yes, they should be on the action agenda for our next meeting, and I believe that's in early August.
Correct.
So,
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for the work you're doing in the committee. We really appreciate it. Next on the agenda, action agenda, old business. Designated division superintendent to act in his absence. May I have a motion for that, please?
Mr. Chair, I move that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the revised resolution R 2021-01 designating Dr. Eric Brent and Mr. Craig Gefeller to act in the superintendent's absence for the period of July 1, 2021 to the 2022 organizational meeting.
second.
Motion by Vice Chair Seberg, second by Mrs. Stevens, that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the revised resolution R 2021-01 designating Dr. Eric Brent and Mr. Craig Gefeller to act in the superintendent's absence for the period of July 1, 2021 to the 2022 organizational meeting. Is there any discussion? Easy enough. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, 7-0. And the next and the last substantive item on the agenda, new business, superintendent's contract addendum. I request authorization for the school board to add an addendum to the superintendent's contract for the purpose of increasing his annual salary by 4.39%, which is the average salary that our employees are getting. So with that, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I move that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the superintendent's annual evaluation and amendment to the superintendent's contract of employment, and that the chairman be authorized to enter into such amendment on behalf of the school board.
Second.
I'll give it to Ms. Brooks. Motion by Vice Chair Seaver, second by Mrs. Brooks, that the school board of the city of Manassas approve the superintendent's annual evaluation and amendment to the superintendent's contract of employment, and that the chairman be authorized to enter into such amendment on behalf of the school board. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I'll say something, sir.
Mr. DeMario.
This is something that we've discussed over time, and the superintendent's evaluation will have to be of a certain level to get this, and I believe that he is the only employee that has that stipulation. So I just want to point that out, that this is not coming automatically for the superintendent, which I fully expect him to always have that sort of evaluation, but that he's got to reach certain standards, which means the school board and the school system have to reach certain standards in order for him to receive that. It's just not a blanket thing, and it's only average of what the rest of our employees get. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Marion. Any other comments? Hearing or seeing none. All in favor of the motion? Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it, 7-0. And we're moving right along. Board member comments. We will start with Mr. Hollingsworth.
I don't have any comments today. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Mrs. Brooks.
I don't have any comments today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Switch your ear. Thank you. Ms. Stevens.
Yes, because I'm the chair of the policy committee, I have read and looked at the diversity, equity, inclusion policy many times. And to clear up any confusion on one of the agreements, what our goal is to look to find and develop a diverse pool of candidates for educational positions in our school division. So it's not necessarily to be a one-on-one as far as diversity is concerned, but to draw a more diverse pool of candidates. This is an issue nationwide. The last time I looked at the statistics, 80% of teachers across America were white females. So we're really looking to try to find a way to make our school staff more reflective of our community and the populations within our community, because we do recognize that different children learn differently from different teachers, and we keep in mind that representation matters, that children feel welcome and do like having teachers who look like them. Having said that, that does not mean that a white teacher is not going to be a great teacher for a very diverse population of students, because we have so many great teachers who run the gamut. It is just our goal to find a more diverse population of candidates, or to figure out how to do that. And that's actually a problem that is nationwide. So I hope that clears things up. Otherwise, I hope everyone is having a great summer, because right around the corner, in a little bit over a month, we'll be getting back to work and getting ready to start a new school year. To start a new school year in person, hopefully 5 days a week, hopefully business as usual. We're all keeping our fingers crossed so we can have a great 21-22 school year.
Very well said. Thank you very much, Mrs. Stevens. I appreciate that. Next, Mrs. Williams.
I only have two brief items. The first is, as we celebrated Independence Day, July 4th, I just wanted to reiterate to everyone how thankful I am, and I suspect everybody here on this dais is so thankful to be not only citizens or immigrants from in the United States, from other areas. People come here from all over the world to take advantage of our opportunities that we have. And I hope that people reflect over this summer, enjoy their families, enjoy their time with each other, and then when we do get back into school, that we really do buckle down and take advantage of the opportunity we have here in the United States that many don't have around the world, which is our education system. Second, this is to my colleagues, I am on the nomination committee for the Virginia VSBA and looking for candidates for Vice President of our Northeastern region. So if anybody would like to pursue that, please let me know. And that's all I have, and everybody enjoy the rest of their summer.
Very well said, Mrs. Williams. Thank you very much. Mr. DeMaria.
Thank you, sir. Mrs. Williams, that would be a no. First and foremost, that wasn't on my list. I'm going to try and talk here for a moment and get through this. We've lost a couple of people in our MCPS family, in our extended family, over the last, I guess, 10 days now. We've had services the last 2 days for these two people. And I was so incredibly proud of this city, of this school system, and especially of Mets yesterday at Jared's memorial service. The turnout was incredible. They had to open the other room, and it was just heartwarming to see the love we had for Jared, and the gamut of people that were there. Jared was a custodian at Mets, and as much a part of this family as anybody up here or anybody across our whole system, and he will be missed. It was a nice service, and people spoke, and it was very nice. Mr. Dave Peacher, our head custodian at Met, spoke. And if you didn't know any better, Mr. Peacher is the drama teacher at Osborne, is the way this man spoke. I don't know where this came from. I've known the man for many years, and he was so eloquent and perfect for his employee. It was just really incredible, and I'm very, very proud of him. Today's service for Mrs. Barrett was very nice as well. I was very proud of the many people from this school system that drove out to Bealton to show our support and our love for Bobby. It was moving, and I know I wasn't able to go last night, but there was a lot more people that went last night as well. And Robert, I'd like to thank you, sir, for stepping up in Bobby's absence. And we haven't gone through this a lot, and your whole team, nothing missed. And I don't know how much overtime everybody put in to make up for Bobby, because Bobby's got good, big shoes to fill, but we appreciate it very much, sir. Okay. And that was the hard part. Saturday, I went to our farmer's market. We normally go to the farmer's market. Maddie Henderson, a rising junior, has her own setup there. She makes cakes and little treats, and I'm not the harshest critic when it comes to food, believe it or not. But this stuff was spectacular. And she made a little box of salami and cheeses and stuff. It's just wonderful. And this is what Osborne kids do. She's a cheerleader. She had to leave there and go to another job. She's a very good student, and she is typical of Osborne and Manassas City public school kids. And so on Saturday, go to the farmer's market and buy some stuff from Maddie. She deserves it. She's not unusual for Manassas City Public Schools. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very well said. Vice Chair Seberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have much to add to that. I have, these memorial services that we have been to. It's just another reminder to spend time with family as you have them and be there for family when they need you. And I hope everybody's having a good summer. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And for my comments, I have nothing to add. So with that, I'll ask for a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion by Vice Chair Seberg, second by Mrs. Brooks. Any discussion? No. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
All-star game.